So when you hear the name Chiang Mai, your brain probably jumps straight to those stunning golden temples, right? Or maybe the misty mountain views and monks in bright orange robes. It's famously known as the Rose of the North. But in this explainer, we're going to look past the glossy tourist brochures. Because honestly, there's a fascinating duality happening here. Today we're unpacking the true identity of a city where an incredibly deep, ancient heritage is literally colliding head-on with rapid and sometimes super chaotic modern development.
Which leads us to the big, central paradox we're tackling today. How exactly does a 700-year-old kingdom survive the 21st century? It's a question that sets up the profound tension between Chiang Mai's ancient soul and its modern urban struggles. As we'll see from the source material, this isn't just your standard story about a city getting bigger. It's really about a culture desperately fighting to keep its essence while adapting to massive global forces.
Section 1. The Rose of the North. Context and Roots.
To really get this golden era, you've got to understand the geography. Tucked safely behind the Danlao Mountains and fed by the Ping River, the Lanna Kingdom, which actually translates to million rice fields, how great is that, totally capitalized on its lush valley. Founded way back in 1296 by King Meng Rai, this wasn't just some sleepy farming town. Because of its location, it became this booming, energetic crossroads for trade between the Indian subcontinent and the South China Sea. Merchants and artists flocked there, drawn by the prosperity and its highly unique indigenous wood and brick architecture.
Section 2. Survival and Integration. A Resilient City.
Now, that idyllic golden age, it didn't last forever. All that wealth made the city a massive target, leading to centuries of constantly shifting power dynamics. Founded in 1296, sure, but by 1558, Chiang Mai was actually invaded and swallowed up by the Burmese Empire for 3 whole centuries. Then, in 1776, it gets integrated into Siam. Fast forward to 1941, and it even served as a Japanese military headquarters during World War II. The rapid changing of the guard is just staggering. But here's the absolute crucial takeaway. Despite all those invasions, the core Lanna identity simply refused to be erased. Section 3. Faith, Festivals, and Food.
So if empires couldn't wipe out Chiang Mai's identity, how did it actually survive? Well, through deeply ingrained, vibrant traditions, like the Yipeng Lantern Festival. Every November, to celebrate the new moon, thousands of Kamphai, these sturdy paper floating lanterns, are released all at once. Just picture standing by the Ping River at twilight, watching what looks like a glowing waterfall of fire drifting up into the night sky. It's an ancient ritual designed for letting go of troubles and inviting good fortune, and it's still an absolutely breathtaking experience today.
And you know, the local geography literally feeds the culture here. Traditional Lanna cuisine is the perfect mashup of these elements. You've got dishes like khao soi, a rich, spicy coconut curry soup that's just incredible. Or lab, a spiced meat dish loaded with fresh herbs. Plus khao nio, the fragrant sticky rice, and intense naan-prik dipping sauces. These recipes are basically history on a plate, mixing mountain spices, fresh valley herbs, and trade route influences to create these deep, savory flavors totally unique to the north.
We also see this incredible cultural adaptation in the Songkran Festival. What began as a really solemn agricultural tradition focused on water conservation has completely shape-shifted. Step 1 used to be just the traditional bathing of Buddha images for spiritual cleansing. Step 2 was pouring a little bit of water on elders' hands for blessings. But today, Step 3 is what you'll find on the streets, literally one of the world's most famous, and let's be real, pretty chaotic citywide water fights. It's such a perfect example of a tradition morphing to survive the modern era.
Section 4. The Modern Urban Paradox. Growth versus heritage.
Okay, we need to pivot sharply to the present day, because the very things making this city so magical are now under threat from its own immense popularity. The defining data point here, 275 billion baht. That's the economic injection generated in a single year by nearly 10 million annual tourists. 10 million! Now, did this boom bring immense wealth to the region? Absolutely. But it also triggered unchecked urbanization. The city started sprawling out fast and horizontally, leading to chaotic urban layouts and sparse density. And the contrast is just stark when you conceptually map the ancient design against modern reality. Ancient Chiang Mai was all about serene brick moats, lush agricultural spaces, and those magnificent temples built up on the high ground. The modern reality, however, brings hectic traffic congestion, chaotic suburban sprawl, and massive commercial shopping malls. Uncontrolled real estate development is literally paving over traditional agricultural spaces and the high-quality forest parks that serve as the crucial green lawns of the city. And of course, all this urbanization comes with a harsh environmental cost. Consider the severe PM 2.5 air pollution, specifically that massive spike during the dry season from March to April.
This smog crisis is driven heavily by vehicular emissions and agricultural burning up in the mountains. And the sad irony? That beautiful valley topography that protected the ancient Lanna Kingdom centuries ago? Well, today, those exact same mountains trap the polluted air close to the ground, creating a really severe health hazard.
There's a quote from the source material that really grounds us in how severe this situation is. Quote, "The inner moat has become a dumping ground. The Ping River is now brown and so polluted, rendering it unusable." End quote. It's a brutal reminder of the environmental toll modernization has extracted from the city's historic waterways. The very river that birthed the million rice fields kingdom is struggling to breathe under the weight of commercialism and population growth.
Section 5. The Future of Chiang Mai. Fighting for the City.
But listen, this is definitely not just a story of decline. Locals are pushing back, and they are pushing back hard. There is this fierce tug-of-war happening right now for Chiang Mai's soul. On one side, you have the heavy forces of urbanization, the push for mass transit, towering high-rise international mansions, and commercial malls that are squeezing out traditional markets. But on the flip side, active community initiatives are fighting to hold the line. You've got citizens demanding miles of new bike lanes, advocating for green rooftops and urban beekeepers, and working endlessly to conserve those historic moats. They're desperately trying to find that balance between necessary modernization and critical cultural preservation.
So we're left with this really compelling thought from the research. How will today's changes recompose the cultural resonance of tomorrow? Think about it. Chiang Mai has survived Burmese invasions, shifting empires, even world wars. But can it survive its own success? Can it modernize without totally losing the ancient identity that made it the Rose of the North in the first place? It's a profound question, not just for Chiang Mai, but for historic cities all over the world. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope it leaves you with plenty to ponder about the delicate balance of history and progress.